Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Pilyleon and I go by Pily, and go ahead and follow me on my Instagram. My username is @_Pilyleon. I'll insert it right here, and don't forget to give this video a like, comment down below, and subscribe. And so for today's video, I am going to be doing something a little bit more different. So I am going to be talking about anxiety, which just gives me anxiety talking about it. I am pretty nervous to do this video, so if it is like all over the place or kind of a mess, then just bear with me. So yeah, let's get started. So I used to never deal with anxiety before. I think it started around high school, I want to say. I want to say it started around like my sophomore or junior year. I don't know exactly when, but it was somewhere in between like my high school years. And the reason, at first I didn't really know that I had it. So like the first year I kind of dealt with it, but I didn't really know that I had it, if that makes sense. So I remember, like, now looking back, the way that it started is because I remember one time I was watching a movie, and then out of nowhere I was sitting down, and then I felt dizzy. I felt like a ring in my ear, and I started to get like really hot and like kind of like sweaty, like my hands were sweaty. And I was like, why do I feel like this? Like, I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, like I need to leave. And I felt like I couldn't breathe in there. Like, I felt like I was literally like so like I'm not really like the type to be claustrophobic, but I felt like that in there. So I was like, I need to leave, like I need to go now. So we ended up leaving the movies, I think. And then after I got fresh air, I felt fine. So I was just like, oh, well, I don't know. I was like, maybe I was dehydrated or something. I didn't really know what was happening or what was going on, and I didn't think anything much of it. So then after, like, I just went about my day, my night, whatever. And then as like the days went by, some days I felt fine, other days were little symptoms like that. So it was just kind of me having like sweaty palms, feeling like really hot. I would get like hot flashes, and I would get dizzy a lot. So it was just like, why do I feel like this? But I, again, never thought anything of it. I never thought like, oh, like I have anxiety. Like, never ever did I think that. So after high school, whatever, it started to get worse and worse. I feel like after high school, it was kind of more like social anxiety. So every time I would go out somewhere, I didn't want to be there. I was just like I want to be home, because that's where I feel safe, you know? Like, I want to just be home. I want to be in my room. I would still try to go out because I didn't want to just be home all the time. Like, I wasn't really like the type of person that was like, oh, I need to go out, but also I was not the type to be like, oh, I need to stay home. Like, sometimes I like to be home, sometimes I like to go out, but then I started to not want to go out. Like, I started to just want to be home and just stay in my room, like where I felt safe. It came to the point where, like, even going to like the store, I felt awkward. Like, I felt weird. Like, you know, when you go to the store and you have to pay for your stuff, and like they ring you up and you just kind of like stand there awkwardly. That's how I felt. Like, I would feel awkward and I would get nervous, and that wouldn't happen to me before. So I was just like, is this normal? Like, and I'm not saying that this happens to everybody. I'm just saying this is what happened to me, or how I felt. So yeah, that kind of started to happen. I kind of started to get more like social anxiety, where I didn't really want to be around a lot of people, or I would get nervous around people. So I was like, okay, whatever, like it's gonna pass, whatever. And then right now I'm 24. So I want to say maybe like around like 22-ish, 21, 22, yeah, like around that age. it started to kind of get worse and worse. And I used to get headaches all the time. I still kind of do, but not as much. I used to get headaches all the time. So it really got to the point where I would get so anxious and so nervous that I would give myself these headaches. Literally, I would be like, why do I have a headache? Why do I have a headache? Like, I eat good. Well, not good, but I eat okay, or back then at least. I ate okay. Like, I would drink water, I would work out. So I was like, why do I feel like this? And there was a point, I think, where I was like thinking at that time going to the doctor. I was like, maybe I should go to the doctor. Like, maybe I'm not okay, you know? But then I was like, no, I'm fine. And I'm also not the type of person to go to the doctor all the time. Like, I hate going to the doctor. And then I had Googled it one time. I had Googled, like, oh, what is anxiety? But I found this quote, and it basically said anxiety is like feeling like you have a lion inside of you, and it's just trying to come out and like scream and like yell and just be out and be free, and being trapped in there. And reading that quote, like, that's exactly how I felt. Like, I felt like I was stuck. Like, I felt like there was something inside of me. Like, I don't know, it sounds crazy, but that's just how I felt. Like, I felt like I just felt trapped. I felt like I couldn't, like, I wanted to scream. I wanted to like I was so nervous. Like, I just wanted to be free, and I couldn't at all. And as much as you try to like think like, oh, you're okay, you're okay, you're okay, like, it's just hard, and you're really not okay. And also, it was so hard for me to talk to anybody about it. I don't think I really talked to people about it. To this day, I don't talk to anybody about my anxiety, like how it actually feels. Like I said earlier, sometimes I just talk about like if somebody says like, oh, go do this, I'll be like, no, that gives me anxiety. That's all I say. So people kind of know I have anxiety, but they don't know how it feels. Like, they don't know the feeling of having anxiety, because you can have an anxiety attack and seem perfectly fine. Like, literally, you can seem perfectly fine, you can seem okay, you can seem like nothing's going on, but on the inside you just feel crazy. Like, you feel like you can't breathe, you feel sweaty, you feel hot, you feel nervous, you feel like you just want to like scream and like cry and like trapped. It's literally, that's how I feel. But what I started to do is like I started to literally look up ways like, how can I deal with anxiety? And then one thing that really helped me, well, I tested it out. Okay, so let's go back a little bit. So one time I don't know what I was doing. I was doing something, and then I remember, and I was around people. I was around like a few people. And like I said, anxiety isn't something that you can see. It's just something that you can feel. So you can never know when somebody has it. But I was with people, and I started to get like hot, and I started to get kind of sweaty. Not sweaty, but my hands were sweaty. And I started to feel a little bit like lightheaded, and then I was like, great, like I'm getting like anxiety. So then my heart started to like be really, really like fast and crazy, and I've never really felt it like that before that time that it happened. I've never felt it beat really, really fast, and that's how it was. And I was like, oh my god, like, I swear to you guys, I felt like I was just gonna stop breathing right there and then. That's literally how I felt, because my heart was beating so fast. And then I remembered in that moment, I told myself, I'm like I was like, you're okay, you're okay, you're okay. So I told myself, like, I am okay, like, I'm okay, nothing is happening right now. So I remember I had read like this article, and I don't think I'll be able to find it, but I'll try. So I can list it down below, and if I can't, then I'll try to find something similar. But I read like an article, or I don't remember what I read, and it said basically, when you're having an anxiety attack, to just stop what you're doing and look at your surroundings. And that's exactly what I did. And then there was it said like, oh, try to list the objects that are around you, so that way you can trick your mind and make it stop thinking about the anxiety. Because sometimes when you have the anxiety attacks, you start to think about your anxiety, and it gives you more anxiety. So it basically said to just look around you. You could just look at what color the objects are, or just list the objects. So for example, there's a perfume right there, and I would say like, oh, that's a perfume, the perfume is pink. And then I would go to the next object. Oh, that's a mascara, the mascara is black. It sounds so silly, but it helped for me at that time. Because, and I would just list things and listings until it kind of went down a little bit. And then for me, what really works is just getting fresh air. I know sometimes you can't do that, but for me, that really helps. Like if I'm able to step out, then I will. And if I'm not, then I'll tell myself, I'm okay. Like, you're okay. And then I think it started to get worse and worse. So after that, it got to the point where I started getting like really dizzy. And then after I would get dizzy, sometimes I would like feel kind of like, not like if I wanted to pass out, but I would get like a headache, and it was just a mess. I was a mess. So it's kind of funny looking at it now, because I'm just like, wow, like I'm fine, you know? But yeah, so then after a while it started to get worse and worse. Like the symptoms started to like get worse and worse. So then I would get really dizzy. I would feel like I was gonna pass out. I would just need to be drinking water, and it was just bad. And then I remembered I went to the doctor. This was, I want to say like a year ago. So, or a year and a half, I don't know. But it's been over a year for sure. So I went to the doctor, and I had them do like some tests, and just basically to make sure I was okay. So I think they did like the diabetes test to make sure that I didn't have that, and they just did like, they just asked me a bunch of questions, and I was fine. So I was like, okay, like I don't have any medical conditions, like I'm fine. So I was like, so what is it? And then the doctor had told me, like, she didn't diagnose me with it, but she was just like, oh, like I think you just might get anxious sometimes, or you get like nervous or whatever. And then I was just like, yeah, like I know I do. Literally all she said, she was just like, okay, well, for your headaches you can just take this. And I was just like, okay, like that's it. But also like there's nothing she could do, you know, there's nothing they could do about the anxiety. I need a break. I am so sorry again if this video is all over the place. I'm just like kind of explaining little moments that I've had with anxiety and like how I dealt with them. But yeah, so that's just basically things that I do to deal with it. I just kind of tell myself, okay, I'm okay, you're okay, like nothing is happening right now, you are fine. If I can, I drink some water, I get fresh air, and if I can't, I just repeat that to myself. And then you have to practice on your breathing. You kind of have to breathe slow and think about your breathing, like think about how you're breathing, because sometimes you forget to breathe, or you tend to breathe like really fast. So you just kind of have to focus on your breathing, breathe slow. And also something that I have learned is that you get anxiety over things that has happened to you in the past. So I never knew this before until I saw a video about it, and then I was like, that all makes sense, like that's so true. So for example, me, I think my social anxiety came from being an only child. So all of my life, it was just me. Like I didn't have any siblings, I didn't have any brothers, any sisters, and I had a bunch of cousins. I have a bunch of cousins, and all of my cousins have brothers and sisters. I'm the only one that doesn't. So I always wanted that. So I think my social anxiety came from that. It came from being an only child. So that's just an example that I'm telling you guys. Your anxiety comes from things that has happened to you guys in the past, and sometimes you don't realize it, or you're like, no, like that's not true, but it is. And things that happen to you in your life, or the anxiety that you get throughout your life, you'll slowly start to realize like why it's happening to you, and that helps you cope with it. So for example, me knowing that that's the reason why I have social anxiety, or that's part of the reason, it helps me. I'm just like, okay, like there's no need for me to be like this. Like I'm good, you know, like these are just regular people, like you're a regular person, just talk to them, you know. So it has helped me a little bit. So if you guys can like kind of figure it out and kind of try to like walk yourself through it, just try. Don't close yourself off and be like, oh my god, I'm getting anxiety right now, like oh my god, and then start to freak out, because that's you getting more anxiety. So just try to stop yourself and try to help yourself. There's nobody that's going to be able to help you besides yourself. Literally nobody. There's nobody that's going to tell you how to feel or what to do besides you. I really just recommend for all of you guys that are dealing with it is just remind yourself you're okay. Just tell yourself nothing is happening, like you are okay. If you guys feel like you're gonna pass out, and if you can, just sit down, drink some water while you're feeling that, and just tell yourself like this is all happening for nothing. Like why am I feeling like this, you know? Like why am I feeling so anxious? What's the reason behind it? And also, if you guys drink a lot of coffee, which I drink a lot of coffee, try to cut back. I'm not one to say this because I don't cut back, but coffee has a lot to do with my anxiety. So I'm sure it has to do with yours as well. So if you guys do drink coffee, try to drink it a little bit less. So that's just basically it for this video. So I really hope it kind of helped you guys a little bit, maybe not a lot, but at least a little bit. And then also, if you guys need anybody to talk to like about your anxiety, or if you guys are feeling like depressed or whatever, you guys can go ahead and reach out to me. And I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna make your anxiety go away, but I can try to help you guys out a little bit. So yeah, if you guys ever want to reach out to me, then you can just follow me and message me on Instagram, and I'll go ahead and respond on there. And I truly hope that anybody who deals with anxiety can overcome it, because it sucks a lot. Like it just really sucks feeling a certain way and having no control over it, but you can teach yourself to have control over it, and you can overcome it. So I really hope that that helps you guys a little bit. And yeah, so thank you guys all so much for watching this video. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I'll go ahead and list it down below, and also give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below if you guys have had anxiety, and also comment like a time that you guys had anxiety to see like who can relate to it. And go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And thank you guys all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.